Hello everyone. Today I'm working from home, but I have meetings. Oh, I hate a meeting. I hate a meeting. Like, especially when I don't think I've ever been to a meeting in the past couple of months that could not have just been an email. Also, I have a team chat today, like just a chat to get together roughly with the team. Which I'm counting as a meeting, but isn't really a meeting because I actually like the people that are there. And also, we don't really talk about work that much. Maybe a light bit, it is work after all. But mainly, I think we're just going to talk about like cats and stuff. Also, incidentally, it'll be the first time I've seen any of them since the Christmas do, when we all got really drunk and I told people a lot of really personal stuff about myself. Which I do when I'm sober, but like there are limits. Alcohol definitely improves the information quality. I was going to chat lightly about this year's worst books, okay? But I think I'm going to say that for tomorrow now because we've had an incident, we've had a bit of a situation. I'm going to call it the Great Elf Catastrophe of 2023. And I'll tell you about it later. I'll it's from like last night. I'll put some stuff in. I think it might be fixed a bit this morning. And I think that's going to be our content for today because it's actually going to make quite a long video now today. But never fear, don't worry, okay? We're definitely going to do worst books of the year for tomorrow. I might actually film it today, so it's ready to go, it's fresh. And that will be in the video for tomorrow. Also, randomly, new development. Speaking of things divulged in bars. I don't know if you know, like a couple days ago, I went out. My friend was like, we should join a choir. And loads of us were drunk. We're like, yeah, let's join a choir. Now that we're sober, I wasn't sure if that was actually going to happen, but more information has come through. So we really are going to do that starting in the new year. They meet at like a hotel in town and like it's arranged. We're doing it. We're going to join a choir. Okay. 2024 is the year I get my pipes out. Really belt it, I feel like I'm going to have a ballad part. Or like a backup singer part, there's that TikTok channel that just does like backup singing things. Like they pretend that they're the backup singers for like Shania Twain and Celine Dion, stuff like that. Can like be like them. Oh, anyway, I'm rambling. I got stuff to do. It is the shitting dead of night. I just got my kid to go to sleep after calming her down because she came downstairs while James was setting up the elves and found out that he's the one that moves them, and then had the most heartbreaking meltdown I think I've ever witnessed. And I'm like fuming about it. Like I'm so upset about it. Like she's so heartbroken and like it's just gonna be like a sort of domino thing now, isn't it? Like, oh, the elves aren't real. The end isn't real. Like, what else isn't real, And I never wanted these fucking elves in my house in the first place. They were gifted to us after I said I didn't want them, and we had to do them. And then this year I said she would just be like, write a note, the elves can't come this year. Because I know it's just gonna end in a heartbreak when one of us doesn't have time or energy left at the end of the day to do the shitting elves. But, like, everyone, like, insisted we had to do it. And now she's, like, heartbroken because we spent all that time convincing her it was real. She was like, oh, I'm gonna see if the elves are real, and did, like, an experiment where she hid them in the upstairs bedroom. But she told her grandmother that she was gonna do the experiment. And then while I was up there, I sort of saw her digging about in the bottom, like underneath the bed. And I was like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, nothing. And I didn't think anything of it until they said, oh, she's hid them. And I was like, ugh. I know where they are. So they just moved them. And she was like convinced. She was like, oh my God, they're gone. They really are real. Like I hid them and they just left of their own magic. Oh, fucking God. So we basically spent all of that time and energy building her up for like the most tragic fall. So now we can't just leave it completely. You know, I can't just be like, yeah, everything's a lie, baby girl, like the world is cold and hard and there's no magic in it and you should just give up on it now because it's just for the best. You know, it's better you live with that sort of reality now. So I've got to build some sort of something now to attempt to just fucking, I don't know, salvage it in some way. Like, I don't think it's going to be fixed. I think there's always going to be a part of her now that thinks my parents have moved them. But I was trying to say about, I don't know, I was like trying to blame it on how Dad doesn't believe in magic. Like, Daddy moves the elves because he thinks they can't move themselves and he wants you to believe in the magic, but he doesn't believe himself, you know? And then be like, oh, that doesn't explain why they then move from the places that he's put them. And he just thinks, I've moved them, but I haven't moved them, you know? And I'm like saying to her, I'm like, what the F could I care about these elves? Like, I'm so busy. You know that I didn't want them in the house in the first place. Why would I move them? I'm like sort of saying about how Daddy doesn't have any stuffed animals to cook at night. And me and Anwen, we do have stuffed animals to cook at night because we know, like, the magic of stuffed animals, you know? Even as a grown-up, I know the magic of stuffed animals. Like, when I'm feeling sad and I catch, you know, Rover, who I've had since I was 4, you know, like, part of me, like, there's something in that guy, you know? I don't know if it's just, like, the love I've been putting into him for 32 years, you know? And she was like, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I know that there's something in all stuffed animals. They're all alive secretly. I know that. So, like, we haven't lost her completely, you know, and I was sort of relating it down to that magic, so we'll give it a go now, see if I can salvage this shit. Okay, I'm finally done. It's taking me fucking ages. I'm borrowing heavily here from the Miracle on 34th Street. Like, that's the kind of weird situation we're in. Okay, the Christmas magic desperation situation, reminiscent of Miracle on 34th Street. So, there's a bit at the bottom where she can say yes or no. Does she believe? Do you believe? I believe. Oh, I still have to shower and get in bed and wash the ink off my hands because I feel like that would be just the thing to sort of give it away. Also, I need to water the tree, which I haven't done in ages. Oh, God. Okay, well, we'll see if this works. We'll see what happens. Like, I'm not looking for a complete belief now. I'm just looking for her not to be so devastated in the complete lack of everything she's ever thought. Like, I want her to just sort of spend a bit of time thinking about it. Thinking, you know, oh, maybe there is some magic, you know, in it.
Hold on, me. Dad thinks he has to move us around because he doesn't believe in magic. Do you believe? Yes. No. Do I have to answer?
I think so.
Okay.
Maybe just with like a pencil, you know?
Like they asked all, like they didn't ask and they just borrowed all your stuff.
Like, that's cheeky, that, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not that funny, but I wouldn't do that to someone else's house, you know? I wouldn't just like come into someone's house and just like use all this shit, do you know what I mean?
Oh, ask. Yay.
Let's get breakfast. James was just out with his friend for like coffee, and she's a girl who lives in the area, and like she's a lot younger than him, and obviously a girl, and sort of I think originally from Australia. Like she brings a viewpoint, okay, that is very different from his, but he really likes her. Like he likes to hang out and have coffee with her and stuff. There was also like a dog meetup. He brought his dog, she brought her dog. Like it was just great. But they had a chat then about like who we call this guy. We call him the dog whisperer, because we see him around all the time. He's always got a million dogs that aren't his dogs. Like he's clearly like a trainer slash walker slash like just, you know, dog whisperer. He just knows things about dogs, right? And those times we'll run into him, we'll talk to him when we've got our dog, and we'll be like, oh yeah, she's got this thing where she's reactive to other greyhounds, she just hates greyhounds, and he'll be like, textbook, you know, self-hating response. Like he always just knows what to do. Be like, okay, I know what you do. Get some hemp oil, right? Okay, and you build it up in her food every day slowly. Don't do it all at once, so that's gonna give her the shits, okay? But then that's gonna sort her right out, and it'll be like, are you sure? Because it seems like she really hates greyhounds. You'd be like, no, she doesn't hate greyhounds. She hates herself. She's gonna sort out, like, you know, he's like one of these like yogi sort of dudes. Like he's gonna sort her life out, but it's just with dogs. We love that guy. We think he's cheesy as shit, and we just like we love him. Every time as well, he's walking around, even if he doesn't have dogs, he's always got a treat for our dog. Like he just leaves his house without dogs or anything, just with treats, you know, on his person, and he gives the dog a treat, and she just fucking loves him, you know. And so he was like talking to his friend. He's like, oh yeah, the dog whisperer, we call him. Ooh, yeah, he's cool. And she was like, no, I hate him. And she was like going on about how she's pretty sure he's just like a misogynist. He's always got like a younger female trainee with him, and it's never the same one twice. Whenever you talk to the both of them, he always talks for the other one, you know, like you sort of ask her a question, he like answers, like she's not allowed to have thoughts. And how is she saying like, oh, he has no idea what he's talking about, you know, like he'll sort of like spout stuff to me, like I need to do this, I need to do that, and it doesn't make any sense, and it's like, we already knew that, but we like it. Like we enjoy a bit of his nonsense, where she found it like, you know, toxic. And like now they're sort of like looking at it now from like her perspective, now it's like, oh shit, yeah, like am I just really millennial? Like I grew up in a time that was like, you know, a bit rougher, a bit more Wild West, where misogyny ran rampant across the peoples, and I've just learned to accept it. Like, oh yeah, he's just a bit of a misogynist, like, you know, oh, he's fine, you know. He's just like the mild type. He won't attack you in the night, you know what I mean? Just funny, like, she was saying all this sort of stuff about it. And he was like sort of telling me later on, and he was like, oh yeah, and this and this and this. Anyway, like obviously that's not funny. I don't know why I'm laughing. I just feel like I just feel like my whole view of this dog whisperer guy has changed. Next time I see him, like I don't know how I'm gonna react. I mean, obviously if he gives my dog a treat, we're cool again. Do you know what I mean? All is forgiven. I don't know. Not. Just kidding. Anyway. Okay, I had to go to run club tonight. Nowish. And when I get back, it will be like 8:39ish, depending on whether or not we go to the pub, because sometimes we do that. So potentially I won't have any more chance to vlog for today, so we'll just kill it now, shall we? We'll just knock it off. But I have been curating my worst books of 2023 list, so we're definitely gonna launch that shit tomorrow. I might film it tonight. I don't know. I'm feeling a bit spicy about it, so we'll do that tomorrow. If you have any thoughts for me today, if you've gotten this far, thank you for watching. If you have thoughts about elves, childhood disasters, trauma, if you will, lay it on me. Anything about Santa Claus? Anything about Miracle on 34th Street? Okay, anything about weird guys who walk dogs and are a bit creepy? Lay 'em on me, friends. Lay 'em on me. And I will see you tomorrow. Okay, bye.